Changing minds one thought at a time.
Greetings, everyone, and welcome to the Change Your Minds Online show. How are you doing today, Jessica?
I'm doing awesome, Akina. Thank you. How are you?
I am great. I had a wonderful Thanksgiving. My dad came, and I was super excited to spend time with my family. How about you, Jess?
Yeah, absolutely. It's always great to be able to spend time with your family. And I know that one of the cool things my family did this year, for one of the first times in a really long time, we got out all our old-fashioned Christmas ornaments. We found things that, like, my brother and I had made when we were in preschool that my mother saved, like those little projects. And we decorated the whole tree and put it on there. And it's really just such a wonderful time and a wonderful time of year. There's such the spirit is in the air of really just growth and of love and abundance and peace. And it's such a wonderful time to really just look at who you are and reflect on where you are and what you want to do as we're really getting close to moving into the next year. And that's what we're talking about tonight, Akina, like really, right? So tonight's topic, Akina, and I know you picked this topic. This is one that you're really, really passionate about. I am too. You know, stepping outside of your comfort zone. As we're really all taking a look, reflecting upon our lives as they are now and what they can be next year, it's something we're going to really need to get familiar with. So, Akina, what do you think about stepping outside your comfort zone? What does that mean? And and how is that going to play a large role in personal development for everyone listening to this call?
Oh, it plays a huge role because the comfort zone is the one thing that keeps you bound. It keeps you behind your limits. It keeps you at level 1. It won't allow you to go to level 2 and beyond. And when you're ready to go up and move up and be better and be stronger and be everything you're supposed to be, that comfort zone has a way of just sliding in there and putting everything on halt. But today we're going to talk about reasons why you should take the comfort zone away and move past and out of it so that you become a better person personally and professionally.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just so important.
So what do you think about this?
Yeah, it's so important to really get out of your comfort zone. And, I'm taking a leadership course, and Akina and we always are very transparent. We're both very big on personal development, personal growth, and I'm taking a 90-day leadership class. And part of that class just really, it's about being this unrecognizable for the next 90 days, just doing things bigger and better than I ever thought that I could. And, I'm doing that now, and it really requires me to step out of my comfort zone. We talk a lot about making, different setting intentions and making promises and declarations and doing vision boards, and I'm doing all of those things, and you might have already seen me posting about it if you follow me on my personal page. But I've really just stepped out of my comfort zone for the next 90 days. I'm just really outside of it all the time. And it's a kind of scary place to be. For me, it wasn't that I'm doing things differently, but that I'm declaring bigger results. And for me, that's where my limiting beliefs had come in, is it wasn't that I'm going to go out and do something I'm uncomfortable with. And that's what I really want to talk about today, too. Being outside of your comfort zone, it doesn't necessarily mean going, bungee jumping because you're afraid of it. It just means, whatever it is for you, seeing your life bigger and doing something more than you thought you previously could. So, for me, one of the things that, I'm doing as being part of my comfort zone is setting these really huge intentions. Now, when I first made my intentions for the next 90 days, I had picked numbers of different categories and different results I wanted to achieve, and I brought them to the coach that I'm working with, and they had said to me, well, Jess, are these numbers really hard for you? Is this a really big stretch, or is this kind of what you projected you were already going to do? Anyone who knows me knows I've done a lot of work with organization, that, everything for me is very numerical. Everything's planned out. So I took a look and said, hey, you know what, all right, I'm going to really put myself out there, and I bumped up those numbers. So maybe I'll put a little 10% growth. And then I realized, you know what, that's not really that far out of my comfort zone. And when you're really working from a place outside of your comfort zone, like you're nervous, like you're up at night. You can't like sleep. You don't like press snooze because the first thing in your mind is I'm on a mission. Like I have something I'm trying to accomplish. If it doesn't just scare you like just a little bit, you're not really outside of your comfort zone. So, you know, that's something I really want to share. A lot of people talk about, well, why? Like, why should I step out of this place of uncomfort? You know, we're in our comfort zones because it's comfortable. It serves us. It feels really good. And, you know, it's okay to be there sometimes, but when you don't step out of your comfort zone, you know, you're going to live an average and mediocre life. Now, that may be okay with you. You know, the reality is, as we say, right, that 90% of the people or 10% of the people in this country control 90% of the wealth. Well, why? Because most people are pretty okay with living average lives. So, you know, if you get a good job, you have a good relationship, you have a good family, you have a nice house, and a lot of people think that's good enough. You know, obviously, if you're on this call, you are not one of those people who said, you know what, that's good enough. Because I know that you are capable of doing absolutely phenomenal things. Just like myself, just like Akina, you know, we're saying, hey, you know what? We're like really a big deal. Like we're creating absolutely extraordinary things in our lives and in the lives of people that we come in contact with. Like this is it. This is our time. We're really going to take it. Why do we stay in our comfort zone? Well, at the end of the day, we stay in our comfort zone because we're afraid. And this is something I learned in my leadership class, and I never really looked at it quite this way. I knew, yes, like we stayed because we were afraid. Some people are afraid of success. Some people are afraid of failure. Some people are afraid of getting hurt. Some people just don't want to do it because it seems like it's going to be not fun or too much work or there's going to be a sacrifice. But ultimately, end of the day, what are we all really afraid of? You know, why are we really afraid to, like I said, bungee jump or skydive or do something like really crazy? It's because we're afraid of death. Ultimately, that's why we stay in our comfort zone. Psychologically, we're wired to keep ourselves safe. It's an instinctive and almost animalistic response to protect ourselves. And ultimately, we're protecting ourselves from death. Well, you know what? That's futile because we're all going to die someday. We're not going to live forever. So why are you just staying inside this small little bubble to protect you for yourself from something that's going to happen anyway? You know, I'm here to tell you tonight that you have absolute amazing power. You're capable of creating phenomenal things, but you have to just get outside, step outside of that place that you're protecting yourself from, because there are amazing things out there. I've seen it. I've experienced it because I've stepped outside of my comfort zone, and living there is phenomenal. You experience emotions. Yes, sometimes they're not always great, but you experience good things that you've never felt before. You've experienced a level of excitement and intensity that just doesn't exist inside your bubble. And let me tell you, if you haven't felt that, if you haven't experienced that, you just have not started to live.
Wow, Jessica, that was some great nuggets right there.
Thank you. Akina, what is it like for you to live out of your comfort zone? Like, what do you feel? What does it look like when you're living outside of that place?
Well, when I began living outside my comfort zone, it was, at the beginning, it was scary. It was unknown. It was brand new. But in the same time, it was fresh. It was powerful. And it was inspiring, because it was something I had never done before. It was a new area that I get to develop myself in. It was a new step in my life, and it was something that I could take control over and make mine. So when you are really thinking about the comfort zone, most people think about it with fear first. I think of it as power first. Why be scared of something that you're going to be able to handle anyway? Well, why be scared of something that you're going to make your own? Why be scared of something that's going to take you to a new level? Why be scared of something that's going to make you a better you? And when I couldn't answer those questions, I knew that I was just living in fear. I realize that that's the way I need to see it. When I position my mindset to see everything as the positive, as taking me to the next level, to make me grow, to make me achieve more, to make me prosper more, to make me more powerful, to make me closer to the ideal me, then the comfort zone just went away. Now, we're all going to have a little fear at the beginning, but it's easily pushed away when you see it going better for you, working for your good. And that's why what I wanted to talk about today was the reasons why, like Jessica said. You're living, you get scared at first, and the fear sometimes gets so paralyzing that it blocks you from doing what you want to do. But why should you not let the fear paralyze you? You should not let the fear paralyze you because you want to expand yourself. You need to see where you can go, how you can grow. Because if you stay in the same place and not expand yourself, guess what? You start to atrophy. It's just like when your arm is in a cast. And when they take the arm out of the cast, all those muscles you haven't exercised start getting smaller because they have atrophied, because they're not in use. And that's what happens to your talents and your gifts. When you stay in one area, everything starts to atrophy because you've been there, did that, done that. So now it's time for them to stretch, but you're not letting them stretch, so they're getting smaller. So now it's time to let them go. So if you don't want to lose your talents and your gifts, you got to keep them growing. And then another reason why you should go ahead and let it go is because why would you want to live on level 1 when you can be on level 10? We know we have to put in the work. So sooner is always better than later. So just take it to the next level. If somebody is giving you an opportunity, that's great. But if you make your own opportunity, guess what? That's better. Why sit on level 1 when you have the potential to be at level 10? Why sit at level 2 when you have the potential to be at level 10? Yes, if you are somebody who lives in your comfort zone on a regular basis, step 2 may be a major accomplishment. But step 3 is going to be easier than step 2 when you make it. Step 4 is going to be easier than step 3, and so forth, until you get to that ultimate potential. And then, of course, you got to dream. If you are not dreaming, you're stagnant. You're not putting your mind to good use. You're not seeing yourself on that next plane. You got to dream. Your dreams need to be so big that you think you could never touch them. And then that makes you feel all the better when you do. Stretch your mind, stretch your energy, stretch your life. Don't sit on level 1. You got to stretch. But at the same time, be authentic with your stretching. Don't stretch because somebody else wants you to. Stretch because you want to. If you don't have any ambition, don't do it. But I don't think there's anybody on the call. You got to do this for you because you're not going to appreciate it if you do it for everybody else and not for yourself. There's got to be a little piece of pull, of hope, of tug in your heart that's saying, I've got to get this. That's going to be the thing that's pushing you to the next level. That's going to be the thing that's stretching your comfort zone. That's going to be the thing that's going to make you be the ideal you. Don't let somebody else dictate your life. That's why we are here with you, because we're not letting people dictate our lives, ladies, and neither should you. You are worthy of everything that you can dream, imagine, or believe. And as long as you know that in your heart, you can do anything. Because what is for you is for you. And what is for them is for them. And they need to deal with what's for them. But you're dealing with what's for you. Don't let your opportunities pass you by because you're scared. Don't let your opportunities pass you by because you think you can't do it. Don't let your opportunities pass you by because somebody else says you can't do it. Go after it. Go get it. Your comfort zone, your dreams are bigger than your comfort zone. And every step you take makes that comfort zone smaller than it was the day before. There is no room for comfort zones in your life anymore because your dreams are so large and so great and so big that all your energy needs to be going into that and not going into the fear of not achieving. So what if you don't succeed the first time? Guess what? You got a new skill. You know what does not work, and you're going to try plan B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way to Z if you have to. But you're going to get what you want. You're going to make it happen because you have the potential to make it happen. What do you think about that, Jessica?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I like how you really talk about, like, living our lives for ourselves and not letting other people dictate their lives. You know, the flip side of that is, to be honest, something that I struggle with. And I think, you know, mostly, you know, and I know everyone listens to our call, but mostly a lot of women are listening to this call tonight. It's something women we struggle with is we want the best for everyone. And we want to really take a stand for people we love. You know, there's a fine line between doing that and forcing our ways on someone else. And I tend to struggle with that myself. You know, we want so bad when we see the greatness in people, we want so bad to show them how great we see them. You know, one of the prayers I pray often is that God help me to see myself the way you see me. And oftentimes as women, you know, we see the best in people. We really do. And we see people and we hold them in places that they're not at yet because we know how amazing they're going to be when they get there. But a lot of times we want to force people there that don't really want it for themselves. And Akina, you said it perfectly, like if you don't have ambition, then have no ambition. In the same sense, you know, as women, we can't force people to have ambition. We can be a stand by being who we are, by being authentic, by being a leader, by being powerful, by being inspiring, by doing the things we think are right, but we really can't force another person to do those things, and it's not our job. You know, we want to inspire people, but we don't want to take people with us like ball and chain, right? We don't want to be dragging people to where we want them to be or to what we think is good. You know, the other flip side of this, and this is something, you know, I think that I did learn to respect this part, and that this is something that was really freeing for me. Although, to be honest, I'm working, and again, we're very, very open on the show. You know, neither one of us, Akina and I, are sitting here saying, hey, we're perfect. We're taking you on our journey with us because we're making our lives absolutely phenomenal. And this is our journey, right? You know, that's something I struggle with. One of the things that was really freeing for me when I conquered was thinking that everyone had to do something my way. I thought you have to read the book that I'm reading. You have to do the work that I'm doing. You have to hire the coach that I'm doing. This is what success should look like for you. And I really learned to realize that success looks differently for different people. And, you know, one of the great things is that, and people ask, you know, well, how does the law of attraction work, right? Because if everyone focuses on one thing, well, then everyone's going to get that one thing, and, you know, there won't be enough, right? Well, that's not true. That's the scarcity thinking. For the abundant way of thinking, it relies on the fact, it's required, in fact, that everybody wants something different. If everybody wanted the same thing, well, life wouldn't just really work out, right? The whole idea that the world is abundant and there's enough for everybody, that's true, but it wouldn't hold true if everyone wanted the exact same thing, because not everyone can have the exact same thing at the same time. The reason why the universe is such a expansive and abundant and amazing and wonderful place is because everyone's creating something different, and that is beautiful. That should be honored and treasured and valued. And when you're uplifting another person, make sure you're uplifting their intentions. And that's something that, you know, I think is really powerful, uplifting their intentions. Now, again, this goes right back to being outside of your comfort zone. And for me, this is one of the biggest places for me that requires me to step outside of my comfort zone. As women, we want to be in control. We do. We like to be in control. And we often think, well, this is our way, we have our plan, this is really going to work for us. But here's the issue with that. The idea, the place of abundance, coming from a place of abundance, what that really does require is that, the world be abundant. You have to be trusting. You have to trust it's going to work out. You have to trust in your people. When you come from that place of trust and love and abundance, it does work out. But that's outside of your comfort zone. That's outside of your control. You need to trust other people are going to do their part. Akina, I know that this is something at times we both have struggled with, right? When we're working on a business project, for example, trusting that someone else is going to do what they said they're going to do. That's outside of your comfort zone. That's something you don't have control over. But if you want to be successful, you have to come from that place of abundance that, hey, you know what? It's going to work out.
I agree.
So what do you think of that?
That's another thing that is very important, putting that trust out there, putting that faith in yourself out there. Most of those things, that's usually the first thing that's blocked in the comfort zone area. First, you lose faith in what you can do, and then you lose faith in others. When the first thing you need to be pulling is from your faith in yourself and then your faith in others, that everything is going to work out. And that's where the comfort zone usually tries to attack. It wants to take away your power, and that's usually where your power is, your love of yourself and then your love for others. And we have to really get in our mindset that this is where we're pulling our strength from, and this is where it's going to be. And we're going to move all those issues with the comfort zone and fear out of the way. Because eventually, once we let the comfort zone win, we start getting stuck in a rut, start getting depressed, and then we start getting bitter. We get bitter because we didn't do the things that we thought we should do, and then we have regret. We regret the things that we shoulda, coulda, woulda did. And as long as we have shoulda, coulda, wouldas, that's an open door to bitterness. And so now that's where we come in with the releasing of the comfort zone, ladies. You got to go back and get those woulda, shoulda, couldas and make them into completed items. Make them into things that I have done. Take the woulda, shoulda, couldas off and make them a reality. It's never too late to go back and get what you need. And if it was a person, okay, it wasn't meant to be. But if it was a thing or if it was a dream or whatever, go back and get it. Go back and complete it. I mean, there are things that I haven't done in my life. I have many degrees, but one degree in particular that I didn't finish was my special education degree. And it's been sitting on my mind lately, and I said, you know what? It is a woulda, shoulda, coulda, but now I'm going to make it into a completed item. I'm going to go back and take those classes that I didn't take. Because if it stays on your mind longer than a day, then it's something you need to address. Well, this has been a decade, so it's something I need to address. And if I don't address it, then I become bitter. And so that is one thing that I'm going to do for myself. Go into your closet, into in the back of your mind, and find that thing that sticks in your mind that never really goes away. What if I would have, and make it happen? Just go make it happen. That's a huge stretch in your comfort zone. And it will be a wonderful weight off your shoulders. And then, when it's all said and done, you did it. And nobody stopped you. You took all the roadblocks and all the barriers out of your way, and you made it happen. It doesn't matter when it was, how it was, but if it's on your mind longer than one day, go ahead and make it happen. It'll truly help you to go.
Yeah, absolutely. And, on that note, and probably kind of in closing for our call tonight, You know, like Akina said, if there's something that you think that you should have done, that you might have wanted to do, if there's anything in your life that you wonder, what would my life look like today had I made that choice, go back and do it. You know, it's outside of your comfort zone. That's why you didn't do it. I promise you. If your life was dependent upon it, you would have done it. No matter how hard it is, no matter how many mountains you needed to move, no matter what your considerations were, no matter what the obstacles were, no matter how much money you didn't have, how many resources you didn't have, no matter what your mom or papa did to you, you know, you would have figured it out if your life was dependent upon it. And here's the truth. Our lives do depend on it, because our lives are our experiences, they're our thoughts. Our lives are what we create. And at the end of your life, you know, the APA says over and over, you know, they come out with these studies that talk about regrets. And, you know, what we know is that people don't regret what they do. They regret what they don't. So you know what? Don't let your comfort zone be a place of regret. Live outside of it. Do everything, be everything, and have everything you've ever wanted, because you can. You are beautiful, you are abundant, you are capable, and you can create anything that you want. You are powerful. So claim that power today, you know, and just do it. Just get outside there and just do it. And I want to, you know, leave with you on that note. Akina, is there anything you want to add before we end our call tonight?
Well, if something touched you tonight, you know, and I hope that it did. We both hope that it did. Please reach out to us. You know, we'd love to hear what you have taken away from our shows, because we really do the shows for you. We really want to reach out to you and let you know that we're here for you. And if there's a topic you really want us to discuss, let us know that too. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Twitter, Instagram. You know, of course, our website, changeyourmindsonline.com. Reach out to us and let us know what you think. And let us know if there's topics that you want to hear. We want to connect with you.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you, everyone who called in tonight. You know, we look forward to being with you again on our Thursday night Empowering Women series. We love you. God bless, and have a great night.
Good night, everyone.